Alright, so next we're going to take a look at how to create this schematic floor plan right here. So if I select this, it's basically a floor plan that's been a little bit cleaned up. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and delete this guy. So I'm going to delete him. Right, so he's gone, and then I'm going to create a new one. So I'm going to come into my top of slab and just start from sort of my messiest view and take it from there to create that. So I'm going to right click on this, duplicate view, and I'm going to duplicate it without detailing, right? And I'm going to come in and rename it to schematic. Okay, then I'm going to go in here and start cleaning this guy up. So first thing I'm going to do is just select the sections and VH, so hide that category, just VHing things that I don't want in here, right? The rest of this looks okay. I'm going to come down, maybe I don't want these guys in here either, the grids, all of that. I'm going to come down and maybe change the detail level to medium, so I've got a little bit more definition, in what I'm looking at. And then I'm going to go in and check my view range and sort of the way things are set up. So if I go to my view range, I want to go ahead and set the bottom at the top of slab, so it's not looking any lower and catching all of these. If I hit apply there, it should disappear all of that stuff, right? Click OK. Now I want to go in and let's go ahead and set the scope box under extents to scope box A. So it's going to sort of clip that guy. And then, oh, I probably don't want these people in here, so I'll view hide those. And let's go ahead and look at our visibility graphics real quick. So I'm going to go to VV. And I'm just going to change the cut pattern to gray instead of yellow. So I'm just going to go to all here, go to cut pattern, left click, and override that cut pattern, make that a solid fill, and go ahead and make it a gray. And click OK, and click OK, and click OK. And you'll see everything go to gray. Now we're getting some kind of interesting read-throughs in some of this, right? Like, I don't know, you can kind of see through some of the stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my visibility graphics, and in my case this may not be true in yours, but you'll see the walls have a 58% opacity. I'm going to left click on that and just clear the overrides for my opacity, and you'll see those go to solid. I think that is going to work. Now the other thing I want to do is if you take a look at this one, we've got overhead lines occurring, and so I want to go ahead and put those in, and we'll talk about that. So I'm going to go ahead and put those overhead lines in, and if you look at this particular view, you'll see that it has this sort of overlay of the ceiling above it, and that's happening because if you look at underlay, it's top of slab, and if I click none there, right, it goes away. But you can come in, and if you go to this underlay, if you pick top of slab and then range level 2 would be bottom of parapet and look up, you'll get it looking up to bottom of parapet, and you'll sort of get an overlay, so you can go in and actually go to your annotate tab, and if you go to detail line, you can come to the pull down here, and if you pick overhead lines, you can either draw the lines using these, so just left click from there to there and it'll draw a little dashed line in, or you could use pick lines and pick the line that you want to be dashed. I'm just going to use the draw line. Maybe I'll use the draw line, and here would be one because that's kind of that overhead monitor there, and then there would be one from the edge of this guy down to here, right? And then there would be one right here from that edge to that edge, And you might have a couple more, like maybe there's one here to here as well. And you can kind of go and fill those in. There would also be maybe another one. So if I go to detail line, I think I filled in the ones that sort of go on the edge here. So I'm going to use a trim command. TR is a shortcut for that. So if I do that again, let me go to create similar. I'll do it right here, right? Draw that line from there to there. And then let's go ahead and draw a line maybe from there, right? And we go to annotate, detail line again, draw it from there to there. And the trim command is under modify, and it's this little guy. So trim, pick what you want to keep, right? Now once you've got all your lines in, you can go in and remove that background. So I can come into my properties and go to my underlay and say none, and now you're just seeing the background. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to use the color scheme to actually color the floor. So if you take a look at the color scheme on the sheets, so if I go to plans for public, private, or sorry, conditioned, unconditioned, we can kind of use that to do inside and outside. So I'm going to use that guy. So if I come in here and I go to color scheme none, right, and I go to the pull down and I pick rooms, and I already have one called schematic floor plan, but I'll delete it and remake a new one. If I just pick unconditioned, conditioned, and click apply and take a look at it, it does the green, which I don't really like. So what I'm going to do is pick conditioned, unconditioned, and I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to name it FP Schematic and click OK. And then for the condition space, I'm just going to pick like a light gray. And for the unconditioned space, I'll pick a little darker gray. All right, and then I'll click OK. And that applies that. And then I can also go in, and if I want to, I can set that color scheme. Instead of background, I can set it to foreground. And it sort of overwrites everything, and that gets everything sort of the way I want it. And then I can go to my sheet, my plan sheet, zoom out a little bit, and drag that guy on. So if I go to my top of slab schematic that I just made, I can drag that guy on, click it into place, and let's flip out the view. And then if I need to move my view title, I can pick the view title itself and move it up, but you have to pick the view title itself to be able to move it. Alright, so that's that guy. Now it has this crop region around it. It won't print if you tell it not to print, but if you want to turn it off, you can double click on it, come down here, and hide the crop region. Double click out. Alright.